World Cup jerseys are not just pieces of sportswear worn for 90 minutes. Some represent a nation's history, others reflect its culture, and some define an era that remains in the memories of millions of fans. A well-designed jersey can tell you exactly who a team is before the match even begins. From that perspective, the 2026 World Cup is set to become one of the most colorful tournaments we have ever seen. 48 nations, dozens of different cultures, and completely different design philosophies are coming together on the same stage. But among all these jerseys, only a few are truly unforgettable. This list is not limited to the most popular countries. When choosing the best jerseys, we considered how well they represent their national identity, how powerful they look on the field, how original they are, and whether people will still remember them years from now. Let's begin with number 7. Number 7. The United States home jersey. Designing a jersey for a host nation is never easy. That jersey no longer represents only the national team, it begins to represent the entire tournament. The United States 2026 home jersey was created under exactly that kind of pressure. At first glance, the white base and red stripes look very familiar, but when you examine the stripes more closely, you do not see a traditional flag design made of simple straight lines. Their wavy and dynamic shape give the jersey both speed and energy. At the same time, it pays tribute to the bold spirit of America's past World Cup jerseys. This jersey is not perfect. Some fans may feel that it plays things a little too safe. But on the field, surrounded by packed stands and enormous stadiums, it has a design that will remain clear and recognizable. The red stripes will not disappear on screen, while the white base gives the jersey a clean and powerful appearance. The United States jersey may not be the most artistic design on this list, but its identity as a host nation, its connection to the past, and its instant recognizability earn it the number 7 spot. However, the next jersey creates an even stronger identity with far fewer details. Number 6. The Ivory Coast home jersey. With some national team jerseys, you need to look at the crest to recognize the country. With the Ivory Coast jersey, that is not necessary. The moment that powerful orange color appears on the field, you immediately know which team you are watching. The most successful part of this jersey is the way it represents the country's identity without burying the design under complicated patterns. The orange base, the elephant symbol, and the subtle textures across the fabric come together to create a look that is aggressive but balanced. Modern jersey designs sometimes place symbols and graphics everywhere in an attempt to showcase a country's culture. The result is often not powerful, but exhausting. The Ivory Coast jersey does the exact opposite. From a distance, it looks simple. Up close, it is full of character. Combining those two qualities in one design is extremely difficult. This choice also creates a genuine surprise on the list. Most viewers expect major football nations such as Argentina, Germany, or Spain to dominate the highest positions. They may not expect Ivory Coast to appear with such a strong design. Still, the jersey at number 6 stands out mainly because of its impact on the field. The design at number 5 looks less like a modern football jersey and more like a special collector's item recovered from the past. Number 5. The Spain Away jersey. When you think of Spain, you think of red, yellow, and high energy, but this jersey does the exact opposite. Instead of shouting, it whispers, and that may be exactly what makes it so effective. The off-white and cream tones give the jersey an unusual, almost timeless appearance. The classic collar and historical details across the fabric bring modern performance wear together with the aesthetics of football's past. The strongest quality of the design is that although it looks simple at first, it reveals something new every time you look at it. From a distance, you see a clean and premium silhouette. When you move closer, subtle textures inspired by Spain's history and visual culture begin to appear. It is also one of the strongest jerseys on the list when it comes to everyday wear. Some World Cup jerseys only look good inside a stadium. This design could easily be worn on the street or displayed as a collector's piece. But that elegant and controlled approach is also what prevents the jersey from ranking higher. The designs in the top 4 do not simply look beautiful. The moment they step onto the field, they begin telling a story. The jersey at number 4 is also one of the boldest designs in the tournament. It moves away from the country's traditional colors without losing its identity. Number 4. The Colombia Away jersey. Everyone who watches football recognizes Colombia's yellow jersey. Yellow, blue, and red are inseparable parts of the national team's identity. That is why creating a completely different jersey built mainly around turquoise and blue was a serious risk. But the result is one of the most vibrant and original designs in the tournament. The blue and turquoise transitions reflect the energy of Colombia's Caribbean and Pacific coastlines. The patterns do not appear static, they seem to flow with the jersey as the player moves. This design works especially well under stadium lights. After years of seeing Colombia in its classic yellow, this completely different color palette separates the team not only from its opponents, but also from its own previous designs. This is where the design succeeds. The jersey does not place Colombia's familiar colors at its center, yet it still does not look as though it could belong to any other country. That is one of the hardest balances to achieve in jersey design, moving away from tradition without losing identity. Even so, Colombia does not make the top 3. That is because each of the next 3 designs represents more than the 2026 tournament. They also carry the football history of the countries they represent. The jersey at number 3 gives the reigning world champions a darker appearance than we have ever seen before. Number 3. The Argentina Away Jersey. We all know what an Argentina jersey is supposed to look like. The sky blue and white stripes are among the most recognizable images in football history. Maradona, Messi, and countless unforgettable moments have been permanently linked to those colors. But the away jersey leaves that familiar heritage completely behind. The black base, the organic blue patterns, and the plant-like lines spreading across the fabric give the jersey a dark, artistic, and mysterious appearance. It is the complete opposite of Argentina's traditional image, and that is exactly why it is so effective. The jersey shows that a champion team can create a new identity instead of simply holding on to the past. Argentina is no longer presented only as the romantic football nation known for its blue and white stripes. It now steps onto the field with an appearance that is dark, confident, and threatening. The national details and artistic textures prevent the jersey from becoming just another black alternate kit. Its identity still belongs to Argentina, but this time it feels more modern and far more unexpected. Not everyone will love this jersey. Some fans may believe that moving so far away from the traditional colors was unnecessary, but unforgettable designs are not always the designs that satisfy everyone. Sometimes, the best jerseys are the ones that create debate. Now we have reached the most difficult decision on the list. The jersey in second place is an almost perfect interpretation of the past, but the jersey in first place transforms an entire country into one design. Number 2. The Germany home jersey. Germany's white home jersey is one of the most powerful visual identities in football history. When redesigning such an iconic jersey, the designers faced 2 major risks. If they changed too much, the tradition would disappear. If they changed nothing, the result would feel ordinary. The 2026 design finds an almost perfect balance between those 2 extremes. The graphic across the chest brings together colors that recall Germany's past World Cup triumphs, but presents them in a modern structure. The spirit of the 1990 and 2014 eras can clearly be felt. However, the design does not simply copy an older jersey. That is extremely important. A great retro design does not repeat the past. It recreates the emotion of the past using the visual language of the present. Germany's jersey does exactly that. The white base, the black details, and the movement of color across the chest make the jersey look both clean and powerful. From a distance, it is classic Germany. Up close, it becomes a combination of different championship eras. None of the lines look purely decorative. Each one seems to represent a piece of Germany's World Cup history. So why is such a balanced, historic, and powerful jersey not number 1? Because the design at the top does more than pay tribute to the past. It places the culture, colors, and pride of a host nation directly into the jersey. Number 1. The Mexico home jersey. The most beautiful jersey at the 2026 World Cup is Mexico's home jersey. At first glance, the dark green base preserves Mexico's traditional identity, but the large and fearless patterns across the jersey completely separate it from an ordinary green national team shirt. Details inspired by Aztec art and Mexico's historic visual heritage can be felt across every part of the jersey. These patterns have not been placed along the edges as minor decorations. They have been made the center of the entire design. And that courage is what makes the jersey special. Mexico is one of the tournament's host nations. That means this jersey is not simply something the team will wear when it steps onto the field. It is also an identity card that the country will present to the rest of the world. Germany's jersey tells the story of football history. Argentina's jersey creates a new and darker personality. Colombia's jersey becomes original by moving away from its traditional colors. Mexico does all of these things at the same time. It pays tribute to the past. It looks modern. It appears powerful on the field. And within a single second, it tells you exactly which country it represents. The jersey also carries echoes of Mexico's unforgettable designs from the 1990s, but this is not a direct copy. The spirit of those older jerseys has been reinterpreted through a modern cut and a deeper shade of green. This jersey does not play it safe. It does not try to become a simple design that everyone will like. Instead, it places its culture at the center and chooses to look completely different from every other national team jersey. That is exactly what a World Cup jersey should do. Because years later, people do not remember tournaments only because of the goals. They also remember the colors, the crowds, the players, and the jerseys. When people think of 1998, they remember Nigeria's patterns. When they think of 2002, they remember Brazil's yellow. When they think of 2014, they remember the image of Germany becoming world champions. Years from now, when people remember the 2026 tournament, one of those images will most likely be Mexico's dark green, Aztec-inspired jersey. That is why Mexico takes the top spot. But the best thing about ranking football jerseys is that no list can ever be final. Some people may place Germany's retro approach at number 1. Others may see Argentina's black away jersey as the boldest design of the tournament. And some may believe that Spain's simple and elegant jersey deserves a much higher position. Which jersey do you think is the most beautiful at the 2026 World Cup? Does Mexico truly deserve first place? Write your own top 3 jerseys in the comments. And if there's a jersey that you believe absolutely deserved to be on this list but I did not include it, let me know.